The Switch has thousands of games, and most people are sleeping on the best ones. Today, we're counting down 20 underrated gems you probably haven't played, but absolutely should. Let's get into it.
Planet of Lana II is a cinematic puzzle platformer that drops you into a breathtaking alien world where silence says more than words. You play as Lana, a young girl trying to navigate a planet that feels alive, dangerous, and deeply beautiful at the same time. The gameplay is built around sneaking, timing, and using your companion Mui to solve environmental puzzles you need both characters working together to progress. The world design is hand-painted and stunning, like playing through an animated film. There's no combat in the traditional sense. This game is about observation, patience, and reading the environment. The story builds slowly and emotionally, pulling you through moments of wonder and tension without ever overstaying its welcome. It's calm, it's tense, it's gorgeous. Grapple Dog, Cosmic Canines is a 2D platformer with a grappling hook mechanic that feels unbelievably satisfying once it clicks. You play as Pablo, a dog in a spacesuit flying across colorful planets, swinging off walls and launching himself through obstacles at full speed. The movement is the heart of this game. It's all about momentum, flow, and chaining swings without losing speed. Levels are designed around your abilities, and every stage introduces new twists that keep things fresh. There's a light story about saving the galaxy that's cheerful and fun without taking itself too seriously. Collectibles are hidden everywhere for players who love exploration, and the bosses test how well you've actually learned the movement system. It's pure platformer joy wrapped in a bright, retro pixel art style that's charming without being lazy. Gaiden Ragebound brings the classic series back as a tight, fast, brutal 2D action platformer. You play as a new ninja named Kumori alongside the iconic Ryu Hayabusa, slashing through waves of enemies with a combat system that rewards aggression and precision. The game doesn't hold your hand. Enemies hit hard, traps are everywhere, and the level design is ruthless in the best way possible. You unlock new moves and abilities as you go, and switching between characters adds a layer of tactical depth to fights. The story follows a dark, supernatural threat with that classic Ninja Gaiden dramatic flair. Over the top, intense, and weirdly compelling. It plays fast, the controls feel sharp, and every encounter feels like a test of skill. If you like action games with real challenge and no mercy, this one delivers exactly that. Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus is a Metroidvania platformer inspired by Japanese folklore, and it carries this quiet, painterly beauty in every single frame. You play as Bow, a small divine spirit exploring a world pulled straight from woodblock print aesthetics, cherry blossoms, paper lanterns, ancient temples. The movement system is built on a staff that lets you bounce off enemies and surfaces to chain jumps and reach new areas, and once you get the rhythm going, it feels incredibly expressive. Combat is precise and deliberate, rewarding players who read enemy patterns instead of just button mashing. The world opens up as you unlock new abilities, and there are layers of lore hidden in conversations and environment details. The atmosphere does most of the heavy lifting here. It's meditative, but also tense when it needs to be. Enter the Gungeon is a bullet hell roguelite dungeon crawler, where everything, literally everything, is a gun joke. You pick a character, descend into a dungeon built from ammo crates and bullet-themed enemies, and fight your way through procedurally generated floors looking for the legendary gun that can kill the past. The gameplay loop is fast and punishing. Dodge rolling is your best friend, and you'll be weaving through insane patterns of projectiles constantly. Every run gives you different weapons, items, and synergies to discover, and there are hundreds of guns, ranging from practical to completely absurd. Death sends you back to the start, but you keep knowledge and unlock things over time. It's endlessly replayable, deeply satisfying when you get a great run going, and funny in a dry, self-aware way throughout. Wargroove 2 is a turn-based strategy game that plays like a love letter to Advance Wars, but with its own fantasy world, commanders, and surprising depth. You move units across grid-based maps, capturing buildings, managing resources, and using your commander's special ability at the right moment to swing battles. The sequel adds a new roguelite mode called Conquest that completely changes the pacing. Instead of a fixed campaign, you make choices between battles and build your army run by run. The story follows new characters caught in a war with real emotional stakes, and the writing is sharp and occasionally funny. Multiple factions play differently enough that learning each one feels rewarding. It's accessible enough to pick up quickly, but has enough strategic depth to keep strategy fans genuinely invested for hours. Inkulinati is a turn-based strategy game set inside the margins of medieval manuscripts. And yes, that's as wild as it sounds. You play as an Inkulinati master, drawing creatures from living ink directly onto the page to battle opponents in small tactical arenas. Each unit has unique abilities, and the battlefield is the manuscript itself. You can push enemies off the page, interact with the borders, and use environmental elements in fights. The art style is lifted straight from actual medieval illustrations, all flat figures and strange proportions that somehow work perfectly in motion. There's a story mode with a quirky sense of humor and genuine challenge, plus a roguelite run option for endless variety. It's creative, weird, genuinely tactical, and unlike anything else on the Switch. Shogun Showdown is a turn-based roguelite, where every single move matters, because enemies only move when you do. You build a deck of attack tiles around your character, position yourself on a small, horizontal battlefield, and try to chain kills without getting cornered. The game is deceptively simple to start. Move left, move right, attack. But the depth comes from combining tiles, upgrading your loadout between runs, and learning enemy patterns cold. Runs are short, death is fast, and the tension per square moved is genuinely high. The pixel art is clean and readable, and the boss fights are creative tests of your built strategy. It scratches a very specific itch between puzzle game and action roguelite, and once you understand the flow, it becomes deeply addictive. Ape Out is a top-down brawler where you are an ape escaping captivity, and it is an absolute sensory explosion. You smash through guards, throw them into walls, and use their bodies as weapons, while a live jazz drum kit soundtrack dynamically reacts to every kill and hit. The gameplay is chaotic and instinctive. You don't have complex moves, just grab, throw, and ram. But the level design and enemy placement create real tension and rhythm. The visual style is bold graphic design, flat colors, high contrast, no clutter, making everything instantly readable in the middle of total mayhem. It's short by design, intense throughout, and built around replayability and score chasing. Few games feel this alive, this loud, and this viscerally satisfying in short bursts. Ender Magnolia is a dark, melancholy Metroidvania set in a world where humans called homunculi have gone berserk, and only a girl named Lilac can purify them. You explore interconnected underground environments, fight corrupted creatures, and gradually piece together what happened to this broken world. The combat system lets you equip different homunculi companions who each provide unique attacks and abilities, and swapping between them mid-fight gives the combat surprising depth. The atmosphere is heavy and sorrowful, with a story told through environmental details and short dialogue scenes that reward curiosity. Boss designs are creative and demanding, requiring you to actually learn their patterns. It's a slow burn that builds beautifully, and the emotional weight of the world makes exploration feel meaningful rather than just mechanical. Katana ZERO is a stylish neo-noir action platformer where you play a samurai assassin who can slow down time and see the future. And every mission is a single-take execution you plan and replay until perfect. The gameplay is built around prediction and precision. You see how a run will unfold before committing, then execute it. One hit kills you, one hit kills enemies. The result is this beautiful, violent dance through neon-lit levels that feels like choreography. But the story is what elevates it. The writing is sharp, the protagonist is fractured and unreliable, and the narrative goes places you genuinely won't see coming. Dialogue has real choices that change scenes. The pixel art is gorgeous and cinematic. It's a short game, but a dense, unforgettable one. Mio, Memories in Orbit is a narrative adventure game about a small robot drifting through a decaying space station, searching for fragments of someone's lost memories. The gameplay is gentle and exploratory. You move through rooms, interact with objects, solve light puzzles, and slowly uncover the emotional story embedded in the environment. There's no combat, no fail state, just atmosphere and discovery. The art direction is beautiful. Soft colors, quiet music, the kind of visual design that makes you stop and look at rooms. The story is about loss, identity, and what remains when someone is gone, told without heavy-handed dialogue. It's a short experience, more like an interactive short film than a traditional game, but it sticks with you in a way that bigger, louder games often don't.
Stitched back together. Every step forward, a memory awakens, and each of those memories.
Spelunky 2 is one of the most demanding and rewarding roguelikes ever made. You descend through procedurally generated cave systems, collecting treasure, avoiding traps, and surviving enemies with a physics system that makes everything feel consequential. The game has almost no mercy. A single mistake can cascade into death in seconds, but every death teaches you something. The world is packed with hidden secrets, alternate paths, and interconnected systems that serious players spend hundreds of hours unraveling. There are shortcuts to unlock, ghost rules to understand, and a true final boss that most players will never see legitimately. It sounds brutal because it is, but the gameplay loop is so tight and the discoveries so rewarding that putting it down becomes genuinely difficult once it has you.
Save your family and complete the legacy in the new Spelunky 2. Every run will get you just a little bit further.
Death's Door is an action RPG where you play a small crow working as a reaper, sent to collect a stolen soul from a world where nothing is supposed to die anymore. The gameplay mixes tight sword combat with a bow, spells, and dodge mechanics across isometric environments that feel handcrafted and full of secrets. Enemies are challenging but fair, and boss fights are highlights. Each one is a distinct, memorable encounter that tests everything you've learned. The world design is phenomenal. Every area has its own visual identity and strange inhabitants with real personality. The story is quiet and melancholic, exploring themes of death and meaning without being grim. It's a compact game, no padding, no filler, just a beautifully executed experience from start to finish.
Absolum quietly delivers a seriously satisfying experience if you're into skill-based combat and replayability. It blends classic side-scrolling beat-em-up action with modern roguelite progression, creating a loop that feels both familiar and fresh. Each run throws you into intense fights where timing, dodging, and smart combos matter just as much as your build. With 4 distinct characters, the playstyle variety keeps things interesting, whether you prefer heavy hits or fast, precise attacks. The hand-drawn visuals give it a clean, animated feel that stands out without distracting from the action. What really makes it stick is the progression system. Every run teaches you something, and every failure pushes you forward. It doesn't rely on hype or massive scale, but instead focuses on tight gameplay and rewarding mechanics, making it a hidden gem worth your time.
Of the Sun King who dares stand in your path. According to your favorite playstyle, you can choose to fight.
CrossCode is a retro-styled action RPG that simulates a fictional sci-fi MMO from the inside, where you play as a player character who has lost her memory and can't speak. The gameplay is dense, real-time combat, using elemental abilities and a projectile system combined with puzzle-heavy dungeons that are genuinely brain-bending. The combat feels snappy and satisfying, and the puzzle design is some of the smartest in the genre. The world is massive, the story is layered with mystery, and the dialogue writing is funny, warm, and surprisingly deep. It respects your intelligence and doesn't over-explain anything. It's a long game, easily 40 to 60 hours, but paced well enough that it never drags. A genuine RPG epic that most people skip because it looks retro. Ball X Pit looks simple at first, but quickly reveals a surprisingly deep and addictive gameplay loop.
It blends arcade-style action with roguelite progression, where you attack enemies by launching bouncing balls that ricochet across the screen, creating chaotic chain reactions. Each run pushes you to think about positioning, timing, and smart upgrade choices rather than just reacting. The variety of ball types, ranging from fire and ice to laser effects, keeps every attempt fresh, especially when you start building synergies between them. What really adds to the experience is the base building layer, where you rebuild your city and unlock new mechanics, giving every run a sense of long-term progress. It's not focused on story or spectacle, but instead delivers tight, rewarding gameplay that becomes more engaging the more you understand its systems, making it a hidden gem worth discovering. Crypt Custodian is a top-down action-adventure about a cat who dies and ends up working as a janitor in the afterlife. The gameplay is light Metroidvania. You explore connected areas, fight ghosts, unlock new broom-based abilities, and discover secrets scattered through a world full of personality. Combat is simple but responsive, and the focus is really on exploration and the NPCs you meet. The writing is warm and funny without trying too hard, and the story quietly turns into something genuinely touching by the end. The pixel art is expressive and full of life, and the world feels like it was built with real care. It's a relaxed experience that doesn't overstay its welcome. Short, heartfelt, and exactly as long as it needs to be. Nine Souls is a 2D action platformer inspired by Sekiro's parry-focused combat system set in a Tao-punk world that blends ancient Chinese mythology with science fiction. You play as Yi, a hunter seeking revenge against the rulers of a sealed-off civilization. The combat is built around a single core mechanic, parrying and redirecting enemy attacks to charge an explosive finishing blow, and it demands precision and patience. Fights are intense and deeply satisfying when you hit the rhythm. The world is dark, strange, and beautiful, pulling from Eastern aesthetics in a way that feels genuinely distinct. The story digs into themes of revolution, trauma, and what it costs to seek revenge. Boss encounters are among the best designed in any indie game in recent memory. This is a serious, demanding, rewarding game. Sea of Stars is a love letter to classic 16-bit JRPGs that doesn't just imitate the past, it builds on it. You play as two Eclipse warriors, Zale and Valir, on a journey to stop an ancient evil by harnessing the power of the sun and moon. The turn-based combat is the star. It uses a lock break system where you time attacks and block hits to interrupt enemy moves, giving every fight active engagement rather than menu scrolling. The world is handcrafted and stunning, full of villages, dungeons, and secrets that reward exploration. The soundtrack is exceptional. The story starts familiar, but earns its emotional moments genuinely. Side content is plentiful and never feels like padding. It captures exactly why people love the genre, while feeling completely modern at the same time. This is the one. That's the list. 20 games that deserve way more attention than they get. If you picked up even one new game from this, drop it in the comments. Like and subscribe if you want more picks like these. See you in the next one.